Greetings everyone. I'm going to do a short video to tell you about what we have in the store this week, just a few of the things. We have more arriving tomorrow. The reason I want to do this is because we have just an incredible amount of very exciting is kind of a silly word, but very nice wines coming in that I am quite pleased with, and I just wanted to show you some of those. Beginning with the Italian container we've been waiting finally came in. Michele Reverdito is one of my favorite young producers of Barolo. The 2016 vintage is spectacular, and this is a great wine. I bought Michele's wines every year since he started, and they just continue to just elevate every single year. And the 16 is just a knockout. One of the charming things about Michele's wines is they're not Barolo. You have to wait 30 years to drink. There's a modernist sort of sensibility about his wines, but he's still very traditional in the way he does viticulture and that sort of thing. This wine's got tons of fruit. It's delicious now. If you had big protein, stews and things like that you wanted to have it with, it'd actually be accessible now. And it's got a great life ahead of it. This is a great buy for $34.95. This is just outstanding Barolo for close to 30 bucks after the wine club discount. The other wine that I've been waiting for is on that Italian container is Castello di Panaretta, one of my favorite Chianti Classico producers. 17 is a knockout vintage in Chianti Classico. Everybody's raving about it with good reason. The wines are very forward, they're very complete. Aromatics are beautiful, and Panaretta is just one of the old school great producers. Once again, one of my go-to producers in Chianti Classico. This is 23 bucks, $22.95 for just an exquisite Chianti Classico. And tomorrow, I'm taking delivery of a fabulous Brunello di Montalcino, speaking of Tuscany, that's from Castiglione del Bosco. It is a 2015, which is an outstanding vintage for Brunello. This wine is on sale right now. Normally these wines are extremely dear, as you know, especially ones that receive 97 points for whatever that's worth. James Suckling spun around in his chair 4 times and fell backwards apparently when he drank this wine and gave it 97 points, whatever. Anyway, it's a very highly rated wine, and once again, it's a very accessible, charming, fruit-driven wine that doesn't take the tartar off your teeth, or the enamel off your teeth with the tartaric acid. That comes in tomorrow, and that will be in the $54.95 range, somewhere in that area. So inquire about that one. I don't have much of it. It's definitely worth your investment if you care about great Brunello. The other thing I'm super jazzed about is a new Burgundy producer, Michel Bouzereau, whose wines I brought in this week. Right here, he's in the village of Meursault, and here I have the Les Tessons and the Grand Charron. Both of these wines are just fabulous 2018s. I also have his Bourgogne Blanc. His Bourgogne Blanc is miles heads above anyone else's, I can tell you that right now. A lot of white Burgundy has run over this palate over the years, as most of you know, and I can tell you without reservation that these are some of the most exciting, just impeccably made, right-on white Burgundies that I've had in over a year, easily, maybe even longer. I was blown away by all of them. The entire range is fantastic, from the Bourgogne Blanc all the way up to the Tesson. And the way Burgundy prices are today, most of you know, you hear me beating this drum all the time. Anytime you can find something that's around 50 bucks, under 75 at least, you're really doing well with high quality white Burgundy from single vineyards and great producers. That's exactly what we have here. The Bourgogne Blanc is $44.95, but it is sourced from 5 different sites within the village of Meursault. So this is basically, this is the equal of many people's village wine. Anyway, those are some that are in short supply, so you need to ask about those. I'm writing these up in the newsletter. You'll see those mentioned tomorrow. On the other end of the spectrum is a charming little wine from Puglia. This is a wonderful blend from a guy that I used to sell when I worked for an importer. He started this wonderful little family-run organic winery in Puglia, which is very unusual for this part of the world. He's really making some great stuff. This is Falanghina and Fiano, a blend. It's just terrific, and it's only $16.95. This is a great, charming, kind of off the beaten path white for lots of things we like to eat at this time of the year, seafood primarily, which is what he makes this wine for. The other thing, real quick, is bubbly. I've got some great, really some exciting bubbly deals. Of course, this is the time of year for champagne, and as most of you know, I'm a huge fan of grower champagnes. Those champagnes that are grown, made, and produced by a single farmer. This guy is in Haute-Villiers, of course, the village you may know that is the home of Dom Pérignon. This guy is a young man who worked for the great Jacques Solos, who was everybody's doyen of grower champagnes. And Solos's wines sell for $300–400 a bottle, if you can get them. This guy cut his teeth working for Solos, and he caught on with this very old grower champagne house in Haute-Villiers, and became the cellar rat, and then worked his way up. Not only to become the assistant winemaker, but he married the owner's daughter. So that was a great, shrewd move on his part. But all kidding aside, the kid is doing fantastic work. In fact, he would make his own champagne on the side using his techniques that he learned at Solos, and kind of put those off and not tell the old man about it until at one point he brought them out when they were ready to be drunk, and they tasted both wines side by side, the old man's and his, and Gramps finally said, okay, you're the head dude, I'm gonna sit in the background and retire. So this guy's making wonderful wine. So this is $60, which is a great deal for Premier Cru champagne from a small grower. The other thing that's very exciting this week is a special sale. Paul Détume is a great producer in Ambonnay. So we're in the mid-range, the Pinot Noir area of Champagne right now. And this guy's wines I've always loved. They're very opulent and very rich, as most Ambonnay champagne is. He's another grower that's been around for 9 generations. Well, he hasn't, but his family has. So the exciting thing, this is a Grand Cru, half bottles, which a lot of people like. Personally, we like them a lot at my house because they're convenient, they're easy. We don't always have an occasion to drink an entire bottle, or we want to have something before dinner. This is an outstanding value, and the importer marked them way down. These are $24.95 for a half bottle of Grand Cru champagne. That is an outstanding deal. Okay, so that's what's in the shop right now. There's going to be more in here tomorrow. There's the Brunello, but also I have the Coudelet de Beaucastel, which is the Côte du Rhône from the people at Beaucastel. This is on a sale from the importer. That arrives tomorrow. 2018 vintage, highly rated, which Coudelet always is if you follow these wines. And this is a vineyard that's just across the street from Beaucastel, and a blend of Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre, all that groovy stuff. 2018 is a fantastic vintage. That'll be $32.95, down from $36.95. The other thing is I'm having David Ramey's Claret. David Ramey is one of the best winemakers in all of California. Anybody who knows California wines knows the class of Ramey. In fact, I have this is his cab, and he cut his teeth in Europe when he was a young man. He's now an eminence gris, like many of us. He's one of the sort of mentors of a lot of California winemakers. His Cabernets are great, his Chardonnays are great. He learned, as I said, in Europe how to make wine. He worked at some of the finest estates in France, brought that sensitivity back here and married it with California fruit and terroir, and he's making some of my favorite California wines. Anyway, his Claret comes in tomorrow, which is kind of a silly name, but it's a throwback to the old English Bordeaux idea. But it's primarily Cabernet Merlot. There's a little Malbec thrown in. That wine's going to be $37.95. David's wines are very expensive. This is a $65 cab, but normally the Claret is $44.95. So it's a great deal and a great time of the year to have that kind of a wine with prime rib or whatever. So that's coming in tomorrow as well. And there's a few other things too, but too many to list today. And I just wanted to get these in front of your face to begin with. The newsletter will be coming out later on. And that's it. So don't sleep on the Bouzereau whites. There's a range of whites, as I said, from the Bourgogne Blanc to the upper end Meursault. Some quite expensive, but if you really want to know what great white Burgundy is like, these wines offer that opportunity at a fairly reasonable price. And so look for the newsletter coming out probably early tomorrow morning. Well, when you get this, it'll be in the newsletter. Details will be below this video, and we hope to see you soon. All right, thank you.